2018 Nissan Qashqai Review. The good points of Nissan Qashqai: roomy, easy-to-use interior, sharp looks, well built, loaded with kit, low emissions, roomy, easy-to-use interior, sharp looks, well developed, loaded with kit, low emissions. The bad points of Nissan Qashqai: boot not really that big, lacks exclusivity, boot not really that big, lacks exclusivity, interior feels off of the pace, 5 seats only. The original Nissan Qashqai has turned into a sales phenomenon to the car maker in a similar manner the iPhone is perfect for Apple. As the first mass-market family crossover, it sparked a generation of imitators, in the Renault Kadjar and Volkswagen Tiguan, on the Kia Sportage and Ford Kuga. It's clear to understand why buyers are hooked. This new vehicle type blends the reduced running costs of family hatchbacks with additional rugged SUV looks and added practicality. The Qashqai car has get a commercial success in the operation. In excess of 2 million have rolled over production line since launch in 2007. Where 10 years ago this pioneering family car had industry to itself, today there are a lot more than 20 rival crossovers clamoring for the attention. It's a fiercely competitive class, using the Nissan Qashqai remaining a trendy choice. Not confident that the Qashqai meets your requirements? Try the brand new car chooser to produce your short list. Its function is encoded in the UK, and it is produced in the thousands at Nissan's factory in Washington inside the northeast of England. You'll truly be buying British in the event you choose a Qashqai. Better quality, outside along with. The latest Nissan Qashqai has attempted to address the product quality gap between its classiest rivals. The 2017 facelift added smarter materials for the roomy cabin, along with extra sound deadening and thicker windows to make certain the car cruises quietly, with less road and wind noise. It largely works. We found the car to be noticeably quieter than earlier iterations, although most powerful 1.6 diesel can certainly produce a minor racket when worked hard. The petrol engine's less complicated improved. The reason is the cabin is well suited on the rigors of family life, with lots of room back and front. Higher spec cars receive the full-length panoramic glass roof, which gives a bright and airy interior. Just be aware as it also nibbles into rear headroom. Browse Nissan Qashqai is available for purchase. Nissan Qashqai practicality. Interior safekeeping is looked after by a large central storage box between your front seats, while there are lots of cubbies and compartments to keep keys, wallets and cell phones. To make room just for this, the Qashqai uses searching for parking brake switch rather than conventional handbrake lever. One slight niggle is always that over-the-shoulder visibility continues to be restricted with the large rear pillars, making checking the Qashqai's blind spot tricky sometimes. Most models obtain a single or 360-degree surround vision parking camera to produce up for doing this. Luggage volume stands at 430 liters, somewhat smaller compared to many rivals. Along with the boot floor features a clever trick up its sleeve. It's consisting of 2 panels, which is often repositioned to build either a deeper boot or perhaps a totally flat load area in the event the rear seats are folded down. There's also space within the boot floor to stow the parcel shelf. It uses very little. This time around there's no 7-seater Nissan Qashqai Plus 2 version. That model was replaced through the closely related Nissan Mistral. 2 petrol and a couple diesel engines. There are 4 engines available within the Nissan Qashqai range, a couple of petrols as well as a diesel duo, all turbocharged. The 2 diesels, 1.5 and 1.6 liters respectively, are likely to produce up the most sales inside the UK. The 1.6-liter diesel is available together with the choice of 2 all-wheel drive AWD and also has a choice of a CVT automatic gearbox. The 4-wheel drive version is manual only, though. Most relevant for all those looking to minimize running costs could be the 1.5-liter diesel, with CO2 emissions rated at 99 gkm even around the biggest 19-inch alloy wheels and also a claimed fuel efficiency of 74.3 miles per gallon. Fuel economy and CO2 emissions are attractive along the range overall, with even largest petrol engine averaging a claimed 48.7 miles per gallon with CO2 emissions of 134 gkm. These really should be cheap cars to run to the average family. The new Qashqai performs well using a road test. It's a breeze to drive with safe, assured handling and admirable ride comfort, which remains pliant even though specified with large alloy wheels. Rims which is between 16 and 19 inches can be purchased. Numerous Qashqai accessories are offered to tailor your vehicle. See our feature portion of our review here. The verdict. The latest Nissan Qashqai remains one of many default choices inside burgeoning family crossover sector for a good purpose. It may not be outstanding in one area, but cleverly achieves high scores in practically every discipline, rendering it a tricky benchmark to overlook, especially at such democratic prices. The latest Nissan Qashqai remains one of several default choices inside the burgeoning family crossover sector for a simple reason. It may not be outstanding in one area, but cleverly achieves high scores in practically every discipline, turning it into a tricky benchmark to overlook, especially at such democratic prices. Watch the complete Nissan Qashqai review for additional detailed driving impressions. Economical choice of engines. Performance not really a high priority. Manual, automatic and 4x4 available. Propulsion for that Nissan Qashqai is provided using a range of 4 engines, 2 diesels and some petrols give you the power. All are turbocharged and fitted, which has a start-stop system that automatically cuts the engine in common situations when the automobile is stationary in order to save fuel and lower emissions. It restarts automatically, efficiently when you're watching to line off again. Duo of diesels. Most Qashqais are powered with the Renault Zorst 1.5-liter DC diesel engine, producing 110 horsepower, but it really's quieter, smoother plus much more economical laptop or computer was in its predecessor. It's already been tweaked with an extra 20 Nm, now 260 Nm, of torque or pulling power, to assisting gear acceleration. Nissan quotes figures of 113 miles per hour as well as a 0.62 miles per hour duration of 11.9 seconds. So expect performance to become no greater than adequate to get a vehicle with this size. Nevertheless, it's quiet during normal driving, only becoming noisy when extended, without worse than the majority of diesels. Its extra torque in the entry-level petrol causes it to become easier there driving in many respects. Top diesel would be the 1.6-liter DC unit with 130 horsepower, carried over through the previous Qashqai. It's provided by either 2 or 4-wheel drive. It offers flexible acceleration and is also quiet enough compared to using the competition, although engine roar can creep in the cabin. This is more noticeable since 2017 facelift dedicated to reducing wind and road noise. Stick together with the 6-speed manual gearbox and front-wheel drive for the top speed of 118 miles per hour, 320 Nm of torque from 1,750 revolutions per minute sees a 062 mph period of 9.9 seconds. Opt for your Stronic automatic gearbox, which figures dip to 114 mph and 11.1 seconds, even though the four-wheel drive Qashqai with manual transmissions stakes claims of 118 mph and 10.5 seconds. Pair of petrol engines. The range kicks off while using a 1.2-liter digged direct injection gasoline turbocharged, should you are wondering, engine with 115 horsepower and 190 Nm of torque. While 1.2 liters might sound a little within the small side to power just what fairly large car, Nissan claims it offers zestier performance compared to old 1.6-liter petrol engine fitted for the previous Qashqai, along with being cheaper. A top speed of 115 mph is claimed for that manual version, having a 062 mph duration of 10.6 seconds. Opt for your Stronic automatic, available on the end of 2014, plus they become 108 mph and 12.9 seconds, respectively. On the trail it's very quiet and smooth, although just a little lacking in performance at low revs. Overtaking could be very hard work, and to receive the most on the Nissan Qashqai 1.2 digged you have to keep the revs up. At lower speeds out and about it feels greatly at home, however, and then for urban driving might well be the pick on the range. Headline: Nissan Qashqai performance figures belong on the 1.6-liter digged engine that was released at the conclusion of 2014. Performance is hardly blistering, despite having 240 Nm of torque on tap from 2,000 revolutions per minute. However, it will have a top speed of 124 mph and also a 062 mph duration of 8.9 seconds. It can be an impressively refined, quiet engine along with the most relaxing power source available. Transmission choices. All models come as standard that has a 6-speed manual gearbox using a longish but pleasant action, although Nissan's new Stronic CVT continuously variable transmission has engineered artificial gears or steps to stop the elasticated feeling common to such a gearbox. Without them they have a very tendency to generate the engine rev with a much higher rate as opposed to road speed suggests is essential, but the faux gears are something of your success, the transmission feeling a lot like a regular automatic gearbox about the road. Safe, predictable handling. Unlikely to sate enthusiastic drivers. Raft of onboard electronic stability aids. Conventional car-like handling was one of many key attributes in the original Nissan Qashqai, as well as the second-generation model continues the theme. Although there's a good amount of body roll when cornering, it's well controlled and the vehicle feels safe and stable constantly. It's not necessarily exciting drive an automobile, but as sure-footed family transport it's challenging to criticize. Nissan Qashqai 2017 facelift. Nissan made detailed changes to spring and damper rates as part with the 2017 facelift, in addition to beefing inside the steering to offer more positive feedback. It's designed for making steering feel holistic and works, to a degree. It's not the sharpest handler inside the sector, nevertheless it's not far off. There's a lot of electronic witchcraft happening behind the scenes to maintain your Qashqai within the straight and narrow, with some other levels of braking force used on each individual wheel while cornering or traveling over undulating surfaces to maintain Nissan's body as flat and stable as you can. As well as making the automobile more nimble, the corporation claims, and also this improves comfort for passengers. All-wheel drive versions obtain a more sophisticated suspension setup that has a multi-link layout on the rear. Ride quality for everyone versions in spite of drivetrain is excellent, with both large bumps and smaller imperfections absorbed smoothly. This same multi-link arrangement was designed to all DIGT 163 versions on the start of 2016. The Qashqai is every bit at home about, where its raised driving position helps it be a cinch to position around the road. It's very easy to park, especially when equipped with parking cameras. Higher grades get 360-degree panoramic cameras that provide a snapshot coming from all sides. Handy for avoiding harm to your alloy wheels when parking near a curb. Qashqai, front-wheel drive or AWD? Top-spec Qashqais could be ordered with all-wheel drive AWD and are available with 4-driven wheels. They operate as front-wheel drive for most conditions, and definitely will send power rearward should the front axle is struggling for grip. You won't cross the Sahara inside, however it'll prove excellent for keeping you opting snowy weather, when towing or crossing a slippery field. Traction in the Nissan Qashqai is consequently good. Even the punchier engines won't strain the wheels, and you really are unlikely to find wheel spin, regardless of whether pulling out of any damped junction inside a hurry. Build quality good but plastics less than premium. Glazed roof helps to make the cabin seem airier. More space for storing than its predecessor. This can be an area the location where the second-generation Nissan Qashqai is an excellent improvement over its predecessor. The original was beginning to feel dated, which consists of plain design and enormous expanses of cheap plastics. While materials and search have been quite definitely improved, they're still behind the degree found inside likes on the VW Tiggan, but fit and take care of is now great. The 2017 facelift added further soft-to-touch plastics, a brand new steering wheel with better ergonomics, and also a redesigned infotainment computer, made to feel a lot more using a smartphone with tiles of apps to cross. Some might discover the Qashqai feels a bit more claustrophobic than its predecessor due to its thicker pillars plus more shallow windows, but this really is remedied through the huge glass roof designed for top trims. An electric blind is equipped as standard, letting you block bright sunshine over a bright day. The raised driving position, one of your vehicle's key selling points, remains, and it's very easy to get comfortable with lots of adjustment to seat and wheel positions. Higher spec models now feature electrically adjustable lumbar support too, a function more commonly entirely on more premium cars. A 5-inch screen between your rev counter and speedometer displays numerous useful information and is also easy to scroll between different menus and procedures without it learning to be a distraction. An electronic handbrake button has become adopted to allow for more space for storage between front seats. Roomy cabin suitable for family life. Quieter than previous generation. Rearward visibility not great. Nissan Qashqai comfort remains impressive. Loved ones of 4 or 5 are going to be very at your home here. There is a good amount of space back and front, although watch headroom is pinched because of the fitment in the panoramic glass roof. Kids are going to be fine, but taller adults may notice their heads brushing the headlining within the back seats. The Qashqai comes only as being a 5-seater nowadays. The MK1's Qashqai Plus 2 version with 3 rows of seats continues to be discontinued. Access to all 5 seats is simple enough, as well as the middle seatbelt inside back row is built to the backrest, instead of hauling down on the ceiling, during its predecessor. The front seats feel relaxed and supportive over long journeys. The 2017 Qashqai added convenient chairs with new foam padding, better upper body support and 4-way adjustable lumbar support on high-spec models. Top-trim Techno Plus models get new lattice workfact Nappa leather, which feels very luxurious to stay in. Seat heating is obtainable on some trims, too. Road and engine noise are actually reduced compared together with the previous generation. The 1.5-liter diesel engine is a bit less vocal than before, possibly at motorway speeds. Both diesel and petrol units are whisper quiet. Ride quality over imperfect surfaces is nice too, so occupants are unlikely to get jostled around, even if your bigger 18 and 19-inch alloy wheels are fitted. The fitment, more sound-deadening material, and thicker glass inside the rear windows, has added on the comfort available. 2017 Qashqais are some of the most refined cars in this particular crossover market. Like the last model, rear visibility isn't fantastic though. The tiny third side windows inside the large rear pillars don't really give you a clear view for overhead or blind spot checking, so you'll be relying heavily around the 360-degree view camera system. 5 trim levels from Visia to Techno Plus. All feature aircon, DAB radio and Bluetooth. Lots of variation, most go with Nconnecta. Currently the Nissan Qashqai lineup covers 5 standard trim levels which stick to the firm's established naming conventions of Visia, Ascenta, Nconnecta, Techna, and from summer 2017 onwards Techno Plus with the top with the range. Standard Nissan Qashqai SUV equipment. Entry-level Visia derivatives are common, fitted with handy remote control, central locking, 4-on-a-touch electric windows and LED daytime running lights. No alloy wheels within this grade though, instead you obtain 16-inch steel ones detailed with plastic wheel trims. From the 2017 facelift, DAB digital radio was included in every Qashqai. Look out also for the new Bose Hi-Fi on top ear grades below. Hill Start Assist makes getaways and inclines easier and works in conjunction using the electronic parking brake to hold your vehicle for nearly 3 minutes upon an incline, while cruise control would make lighter work of longer schleps. You can connect your phone or very good music player via Bluetooth, an AUX in socket or USB, playing out of 4-year-old speakers for your DAB stereo audio. Note that Apple CarPlay and Android Auto will not be available to the Nissan Qashqai yet. Other creature comforts are limited, but you do get manual aircon to maintain your cabin cool in summer and electric door mirrors which can be heated to defrost in the wintertime. Moving up on the Ascenta grade, add 17-inch alloy wheels, dual-zone climate control and front fog lamps. Extra interior kit incorporates a leather finish for your new flat-bottomed tire, electric door mirrors that fold flat with the touch of an button, as well as toned seat upholstery. Nconnecta versions gain an upgraded infotainment system called Nissan Connect with 7-inch touchscreen above. This includes DAB digital radio and smartphone connectivity, with a variety of apps for Web 2.0, music and entertainment, and from summer 2017 comes using the new shark fin antenna within the roof and 18-inch alloy wheels. Also around the kit list are parking sensors front and back, keyless entry and push-button start, a rear-view camera which usefully is self-cleaning, and darkened rear privacy glass. Until 2017, a higher level up was the Qashqai Vision, but I thought this was discontinued in 2017. It added a sportier air which has a dark headlining, leather and Alcantara upholstery, a panoramic glass roof to create the cabin less claustrophobic, as well as an electrically adjustable driver's seat. The penultimate Qashqai trim is known as Techna and features 19-inch alloy wheels, roof rails along with a glass roof, with an 8-speaker Bose stereo and LED headlamps. On the inside you can find heated seats with partial leather upholstery and electric operation, and also a 7-inch touchscreen display with smartphone connectivity and Nissan's Around View camera system that can help with parking and low-speed maneuvering. This uses cameras on all sides with the car to make a color display bird's-eye look at its surroundings. Front and rear parking sensors are standard too. The Techno also can go a measure further and park itself. The Park Assist system can autonomously steer into parallel and bay parking spaces even though the driver controls the pedals. Topping the stove is the brand new Techno Plus trim above, launching as part on the 2017 facelift. It features a host of gadgetry, including 4-way pneumatic lumbar support, an element more commonly seen on executive cars, and also a memory function for seats and mirrors in order that they adjust to your key's individual settings whenever you step into the vehicle. It also bundles inside latest 8-speaker Bose stereo, glitzy latticework finish for the Nappa leather seats back and front, and externally you receive satin silver door mirror caps and roof rails. You can upgrade the leather to rich plum color for an optional extra. Optional Nissan Qashqai SUV accessories. Individual options for that Qashqai may be restricted, limiting current to a selection of metallic paints, alloy wheel upgrades, styling kits, and also the panoramic glass roof. Additionally, there's many different option bundles, but they're not all provided with every trim level. So check along with your Nissan retailer to determine which combinations are possible. Comfort Pack, an airier cabin thanks to your panoramic glass roof with on a touch electric shade, satin silver roof rails. Heat Pack, an electrically heated windscreen and heated front seats make wintry mornings simpler to live with. Smart Vision Pack, includes traffic sign recognition, automatic main beam, lane departure warning, autonomous emergency braking, back and front parking sensors with an anti-dazzle rear view mirror. Tech Pack, combines the Nissan Connect 7-inch touchscreen with SatNav, Bluetooth connectivity, smartphone apps plus a reversing camera. Plus privacy glass. Executive Pack, builds upon the Heat Pack with dark leather trim as well as an electrically adjustable driver's seat. Rated 5 stars by Euro NCAP. Raft of up-to-date safety kit. Many backpacks are optional. In the Euro NCAP test, the Nissan Qashqai scored the entire 5 stars, with particularly high scores for adult and child protection, and also a strong score for pedestrian safety. Various active safety technology systems can be purchased under Nissan Safety Shield banner. Depending on trim, some are standard plus some are extras at extra expense. Start to see the equipment section for details. Systems available include blind spot warning. This continues to be upgraded to work with radar sensors to detect vehicles hidden within the Qashqai's blind spot. It illuminates a light inside corresponding windscreen pillar to warn the trucker. Intelligent driver alertness, displays a warning within the instrument panel should steering inputs become erratic inside a way that suggests the driving force is drowsy. Front collision avoidance and forward emergency braking, scans the trail ahead via radar and issues an audible warning whether or not this detects an imminent collision, before applying the brakes automatically to pull up quickly. Can now spot pedestrians too. High beam assist, automatically switches the headlamps from full beam to prevent dazzling other traffic. Lane departure warning, alerts the driving force if they drift outside of lane without indicating. This is actually very irritating used. It's hair trigger sensitive and emits a harsh beeping noise should you touch a white line. Moving object detection. Should a moving object come into their range when maneuvering, the around view cameras trigger an audible warning and highlight the rough location on the object about the display screen. Traffic sign recognition. Front-facing camera watches speed limit signs and displays them within the instrument panel. Function works abroad in Europe, too. Rear cross-traffic alert. New in 2017's facelift is that this system that will alert you should you're gonna reverse into a road using a car approaching in the side. Coming in autumn 2017 is ProPilot, Nissan's new semi-autonomous system. It will use radar and cameras to adopt over-driving duties, especially circumstances, such as in the traffic jam or in a motorway cruise. Spacious, flexible interior. All designs have a 60 hours 40 minutes split rear seat. Plenty of storage for oddments. Nissan Qashqai practicality credentials have already been boosted with the second-generation model with greater interior space and luggage capacity. The tailgate opens above before, with special provision so you don't bash your head around the tailgate, an essential problem within the Mk1 Qashqai, and boot volume is currently 430 liters with all the seats up 20 liters in excess of previously. On all trims the corner seats fold in a very 60 hours 40 minutes split and fold almost completely flat. The boot floor is consisting of two panels which is often positioned at two heights, either lower to improve boot space or higher to produce for a flatter floor once the rear seats are folded. In their highest position there isn't much of the lip between boot space and tailgate, so that it is reasonably very easy to slide heavy items out on the boot. Both floor panels employ a carpet surface on one side and also a wipe clean surface for the other, helpful when carrying wet or muddy items. The rearward panel also can be stood upright to divide the boot into two sections, to split up dry and wet items as an example, or just to help you stop your shopping rolling around. Helpfully, the parcel shelf might be stored in the boot floor when needed. A tire repair kit in lieu of your spare wheel is standard. A suitable spare wheel can be obtained at extra expense. It's worth noting this option is not available in the event you spec the rich-sounding Bose stereo, because the woofers are positioned inside spare wheel well. Plastic hooks to hang bags on are molded into your boot sides, while inside cabin there is certainly more interior safekeeping than before, using a large central storage box between your front seats. This features an aux socket, USB port and 12V socket for charging electrics, having a space underneath the lid running a cable through so devices may still be plugged in. You should definitely stowed inside box itself. Nissan Qashqai practicality credentials are already boosted for that second-generation model with greater interior space and luggage capacity. The tailgate opens over before, with special provision in order that you don't bash your head for the tailgate, significant problem for the Mk1 Qashqai, and boot volume has become 430 liters while using seats up 20 liters over previously. On all trims the back seats fold inside a 60 hours 40 minutes split and fold almost completely flat. The boot floor is comprised of two panels which is often positioned at two heights, either lower to boost boot space or higher to produce for a flatter floor in the event the rear seats are folded. In their highest position there isn't much of the lip between boot space and tailgate, turning it into reasonably simple to slide heavy items out with the boot. Both floor panels possess a carpet surface on one side plus a wipe clean surface about the other, helpful when carrying wet or muddy items. The rearward panel may also be stood upright to divide the boot into two sections, to split up dry and wet items as an example, or just to assist stop your shopping rolling around. Helpfully, the parcel shelf could be stored within the boot floor when needed. A tire repair kit in lieu of your spare wheel is standard. An appropriate spare wheel is obtainable at expense. It's worth noting this option is not available in case you spec the rich-sounding Bose stereo, since the woofers are positioned from the spare wheel well. Plastic hooks to hang bags on are molded to the boot sides, while inside cabin there's more interior storage area than before, using a large central storage box relating to the front seats. This features an aux socket, USB port and 12V socket for charging electrics, having a space in the lid to own a cable through so devices might still be plugged in when they are not stowed inside the box itself.